Hey there! Have you ever wondered what's actually happening inside your computer when you save a file, type a message, or watch a video? Like, what is data, really? Today, we're gonna pull back the curtain and explore one of the most fascinating questions in computing. How does a computer store everything using just two tiny symbols, 0 and 1? Let's dive in. So let's start from the very beginning. The smallest unit of data in a computer is called a bit, short for a binary digit. A bit can only be one of two things, a 0 or a 1. Think of it like a light switch. It's either off, that's 0, or it's on, that's 1. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything your computer ever does comes down to billions of these tiny switches flipping on and off. But why does a computer use only zeros and ones? Why not use the numbers 0 through 9 like we do? Well, it comes down to physics. Inside your computer's processor, there are billions of tiny switches called transistors. A transistor can either let electricity flow through it or block it. That's two states, on or off, high voltage or low voltage, 1 or 0. It's incredibly fast, reliable, and efficient. Using just two states means there's almost no chance of misreading the signal. That's why binary is the language of computers. Now, a single bit on its own isn't very useful, so computers group bits together. When you put 8 bits together, you get a byte. 1 byte. 8 bits, 1 byte. This is the basic building block that computers actually work with. And from a single byte, you can represent 256 different combinations, from 0 all the way up to 255. As we scale up, 1,000 bytes is roughly a kilobyte. 1,000,000 bytes is a megabyte. 1,000,000,000 bytes is a gigabyte. And 1,000,000,000,000 bytes, that's a terabyte, the kind of storage you see on modern hard drives. Let's take a quick look at how binary numbers actually work. In our everyday number system, called decimal or base 10, we use 10 digits, 0 through 9. But binary is base 2, so it only uses 0 and 1. Each position in a binary number represents a power of 2. The rightmost position is 2 to the 0, that's just 1. Next is 2 to the 1, that's 2. Then 4, then 8, then 16, and so on, doubling each time. So the binary number 101 means 1 4, 0 2s, and 1 1, which equals 5. Simple, right? Once you get the pattern, it clicks. Okay, so computers love zeros and ones. But what about text? When you type the letter A on your keyboard, how does the computer know it's an A and not a B or a Z? The computer has no natural concept of letters or symbols. It only understands numbers. So someone had to come up with a clever system, assign a unique number to every single character. And that's exactly what happened. The solution was ASCII, the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Created back in the 1960s, ASCII assigned a number to every letter, digit, and common symbol. Capital A, that's number 65. Capital B is 66. C is 67. Lowercase a is 97. The spacebar is 32. And those numbers are then stored as binary. So when you type the letter A, the computer stores the binary for 65, which is 01000001. ASCII worked great, but it only covered 128 characters. Fine for English, but what about Chinese, Arabic, emoji? The world needed something bigger. That's where UTF-8 comes in. UTF-8 is the world's most popular text encoding today, and it's clever because it's variable length. For basic English letters and numbers, UTF-8 uses just 1 byte, same as ASCII, so it's backwards compatible. But for characters from other languages, it uses 2, 3, or even 4 bytes. That's how it supports over 1 million different characters. Every letter in every language, mathematical symbols, currency signs, and yes, emoji. That thumbs up emoji, it's stored as 4 bytes, F0, 9F, 918D in hexadecimal. Every character, every symbol, every emoji, all ultimately stored as bits and bytes. Here's what makes UTF-8 so elegant. It uses a smart flagging system in the bits to tell the computer how many bytes belong to each character. If a byte starts with a 0, it's a 1-byte character, your standard ASCII. If it starts with 110, the character is 2 bytes long. If it starts with 1110, it's 3 bytes. And 11110 means 4 bytes. The computer reads the first byte, figures out how many bytes follow, and reads them all together as one character. It's beautifully efficient. Common characters stay small, rare ones get more space. Now let's talk about images. When your camera takes a photo, what's actually being stored? Well, an image is made up of millions of tiny squares called pixels, short for picture elements. Each pixel represents one tiny dot of color, and every pixel's color is described using 3 numbers: the amount of red, the amount of green, and the amount of blue. This is called RGB. Each channel goes from 0 to 255, giving you 256 levels of each color. Put them together and you can make over 16 million different colors. That's why it's called 24-bit color. 8 bits each for red, green, and blue. Let's do some quick math. A standard 1080p image is 1920 pixels wide and 1080 pixels tall. That's over 2 million pixels. Each pixel needs 3 bytes for RGB color, so an uncompressed image is about 6 megabytes for a single photo. That's why image formats like JPEG and PNG use compression. JPEG throws away some detail your eye won't notice, like making nearby similar colors look identical. PNG keeps everything exactly as is, but finds clever patterns to reduce repetition. Both shrink that 6 megabyte file dramatically, but underneath, it all starts with bytes. There are 2 main types of image compression. JPEG is what we call lossy compression. It throws away some data to make the file much smaller. It's smart about it. It removes the tiny details your eyes would barely notice anyway. That's why JPEGs are great for photos, but if you zoom way in, you'll see blurry artifacts. PNG uses lossless compression. It never throws anything away. Instead, it finds patterns and encodes them cleverly. That's why PNGs are bigger than JPEGs, but are perfect for logos, screenshots, and anything with sharp edges or text. Now for video, and this is where things get really interesting. What is a video at its core? Simply put, a video is just a sequence of images played very quickly, one after another. Think of an old school flip book. You draw slightly different images on each page, flip through them fast, and it looks like motion. Your computer does the same thing. A standard video plays at 24 to 30 frames per second. That means your computer is showing you 30 still images every single second, so fast that your brain perceives it as smooth, continuous motion. Here's a reality check. If we stored every video frame without any compression, the file sizes would be absolutely massive. Let's do the math. A single 1080p frame is about 6 megabytes. Multiply that by 30 frames per second. Now multiply by 60 seconds. You get about 11 gigabytes for just 1 minute of video. That means a 2-hour movie would be over 1.3 terabytes. Obviously, that's completely impractical. We need a smarter way. That's where video compression steps in. Video compression is brilliant. The key insight is, most of the time, a lot of the image stays the same from one frame to the next. Think about a person talking in front of a wall. The wall doesn't change, so why store it again and again? Modern video codecs use 3 types of frames. An iframe, or keyframe, stores the complete image. Then, P frames only store what changed compared to the previous frame. B frames look both backwards and forwards and store only the differences. This is called interframe compression, and it can reduce file sizes by 99% or more. The software that does all this clever compression and decompression is called a codec, short for coder-decoder. The most famous video codec is H.264, also called AVC. It's been around since 2003 and it's on literally everything. Phones, laptops, cameras, streaming services. H.265 or HEVC cuts file size roughly in half compared to H.264, which is why it's used for 4K video. Then there's AV1, an open source codec developed by Google, Netflix, and others, which delivers even better quality at smaller sizes. When you watch YouTube or Netflix in 2026, there's a good chance AV1 is doing the heavy lifting. Let's bring it all together with a quick journey. You type the letter A on your keyboard. Your computer encodes it as the number 65, using ASCII or UTF-8. That 65 becomes the binary number 01000001. That binary pattern is stored in your computer's memory as tiny electrical signals, transistors switching on and off. When you need to display it, the computer reverses the process. Binary to number, number to character, character to pixel. And there's your A on screen. Every single thing on your computer, every word, every photo, every video game, every video is just this same process happening billions of times per second. Here's some fun context to make this real. Your phone might have 128 gigabytes of storage. A single minute of 4K video takes up about 350 megabytes. A typical MP3 song is about 4 megabytes. A photo from your camera is roughly 3 to 5 megabytes. And the full page of typed text? Barely 2 kilobytes. Text is incredibly efficient compared to media because images and video have so much more data to encode. This is why your phone fills up with photos and videos way faster than with text messages or documents. Finally, let's talk about where all these bits actually live physically. In a traditional hard disk drive, or HDD, bits are stored as tiny magnetic regions on a spinning metal platter. North pole means 1, south pole means 0. In a solid-state drive, or SSD, bits are stored as electrons trapped in special memory cells. No moving parts, much faster. In RAM, your computer's working memory, bits are stored as tiny capacitors that either hold a charge or don't. Fast and temporary. And yes, even the cloud is just someone else's collection of physical drives, spinning platters and flash chips in massive data centers around the world. And there you have it. From the tiniest bit to a full 4K movie, it's all zeros and ones. Text gets encoded with systems like ASCII and UTF-8, turning every character into a unique binary number. Images are grids of pixels, each with RGB color values stored as bytes. Videos are sequences of compressed image frames using clever codecs to slash file sizes. And all of it lives physically as magnetic poles, trapped electrons, or electrical charges on hardware. Computers are just incredibly fast and efficient at manipulating these tiny states of on and off. If you found this useful, share it with a friend who's curious about tech, and I'll see you in the next one.